Hi there, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and I have a review of the Energy Archaeology Oracle deck. So grab a cuppa, and I'm not going to rush this one. I really want to appreciate this deck because it's so unique and so different to what I have in my collection. And I hope, since you have been following me, you know how many decks I have had, I used to have, and to surprise me, it takes really something very, very unique. And this deck belongs to those unique decks that I love so much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you how I have been using this oracle first of all, and then in the second part, I'm just going to show you all the cards. And before I start telling you how I have been using it, I would love you to take a look at just at the book, at the companion book, because it can be used as a oracle guidebook, of course, but also in the beginning you have like a little bit of anatomy, and you have a nice introduction by Ashley about how you can work with this deck. So obviously I have read it, and I figured out that I have been using the cards in a similar way, but also Ashley has given me some of the ideas. So she tells you that you can use this deck as an oracle. So you pull a card, you can tune into it. It's a very energetic art as well. So you can meditate with these cards, you can try to feel them in the body. The embodiment is very important in this particular deck, and that's why I love it so much, because I think we all somehow striving for embodying our selves, you know, feeling our bodies. Our bodies are very wise, our bodies hold memories, our bodies hold our pain and grief, and they hold the joy, and they very often or most often also hold the healing for whatever we are going through, and the connection to the body, which is so kind of discouraged in our culture in some way. It is becoming more and more important for us to remember and bring forward. So the other way you can use this deck, so here she speaks about the standard reference manual for the guidebook. For example, if you have any pain or sensation in a particular area in your body, you can use the graphic table of contents, so all these guys, the little skeletons, and figure out maybe where or what the corresponding page is in the manual, and explore this. Some bones are shown separately and others are included together as a group. And there are also inquiry questions in this guidebook. There is journal practice that you can figure out. There is cycle of communication. So this is a way that Ashley provides us a way to connect with the card and connect it back to your body, have a conversation with your body. So she calls this a cycle of communication, and to listen to what the body has to say. So it works especially well if there is a bone or group of bones that has been persistent in trying to get your attention. So for me, for example, which is really kind of fascinating, you know, like I have been using this deck for maybe just over a month, and pulling daily draws, or just working with other decks and this deck as well. And I swear most of the times, so maybe except for 4 times or something, I have been only pulling one card, which is you know, quite interesting. For I still use it, the stalker name. I know that people like don't like it. I just forgot what else they wrote I should use instead of it, but you know what I mean. In the quotation marks stalker card, like I just constantly have been pulling this one card, which probably now will be somewhere at the end. But this was the card. So this was my first card I pulled in general, and it's called Receiving, and it is about left hand. To be honest, I actually am feeling quite a lot of joint pains in this finger in my right hand, and the small finger as well in my right hand. But it seems like maybe in some way the imbalance comes from my left hand. I have been sitting with it. You know how it is sometimes, you're like on the brink of knowing, but it's such a blind spot for you that you're not quite sure where you go with this. So I have been working with some other decks, you know, it's still in the process for me to really figure out. I remember the first time I pulled this this card, it was the full moon, and just the synchronicity of what was happening then to me was pretty stunning, and I actually exchanged messages with Ashley about that. And then this card has been just really popping out for me over and over again. So I think whenever you have this type of occurrence, I think this communication cycle, I haven't done it yet in this particular way, but I will do it in this way, which Ashley offers as a example. So if something is persistently trying to get your attention, like receiving and left hand was with me, I can create intention to build a relationship with this bone or these bones, and then you're ready to begin the cycle of communication. And here is the whole description of how the cycle of communication works, and what you need to know, see or hear, and so on. So I'm not going to go into the details of it, because if you really want it, please support Ashley, and you know, you can get the oracle. It's really something that I think it's worth getting. And I'm rarely gushing about decks like this, you know. I usually love decks that I'm getting, but some are a little bit more special than others, just because they're just so different, and because maybe of where I am in my life right now, and how this embodied practice is really important for me, especially for a person who has no earth in their chart except for the, you know, south node. So there's also a way of how you can read with the cards, so like a one card, the block and the breakthrough, and few other spreads that Ashley offers here. And then the beautiful images in the book are also there, and that's the manual, that's the book, a companion book. And the information in the descriptions, they speak, there's a little quotation, there's like keyword that Ashley ascribes to the bone, there's element, imbalance, out of balance, associated cards from the oracle, anatomy of whatever bone is being, or group of bones is being discussed here. And then we have energy of these bones, and wisdom of the bones, and then you always have also the questions that you can go deeper in with, and maybe journal, or you know, just think about for yourself. So this is really well done, it's really beautiful. It's not glued, so it's well bound, it's not going to, you know, fall apart. It's really beautiful. And then the deck comes in this in the box like this. And before I show you all the cards, I just wanted to give you some other examples. So with this card, for example, if you're getting some persistence one card, so of course I was also working with some journaling, but I decided to also pull some cards. And you know, I have a couple of classes on my website, and I have two classes, how to read with unusual decks. One is how to read with unusual decks, and one is the creative tarot class, how to read with many different decks in one reading. And I show different examples, different sample readings with many beautiful decks, so you can take a look at these classes if you haven't taken them yet. They just, you know, you buy them from the website and download them, and you can access them anytime you need. And I think they're really interesting classes, especially for people who maybe are a bit like shy of using a couple of decks in one reading. I think that's a really fun thing to do, especially if you have more than one deck. So that's particularly for people who have more than one deck, so they can mix and mash and use their decks, you know, in readings. So I noticed that this Archaeology Oracle, it's really looks great with Thoth Tarot for some reason. I don't know, energetically it just fits for me. So I would ask, for example, like, what do you want to tell me, you know, left hand. So you can of course sit with the card, meditate, tune into the background. Ashley speaks about the backgrounds in the booklet as well, she speaks about the light and how light is coming through for you as well. And I would, for example, pull 3 cards and just like marvel on it, you know. For example, here we have the element of earth, we have the element of water, and we have death card. And I love how the skeleton, you know, and the hands with the bones, skeleton holds a scythe, how is it called? I always forget. You know, it just holds this thing to cut things through. And by things, we mean sometimes energetic things, energetic emotional stuff maybe. There's something about maybe receiving and letting go, or maybe I'm holding on to something that, you know, it's maybe time to let go of. But also maybe it is about receiving something maybe from beyond the grave. Maybe there is something that I need to really dig deep, go to the bare bones to discover. You know, you can sit with these cards, but look how beautiful Thoth deck looks with this deck. And sometimes I would pull, for example, 3 of the cards if I had like morning, midday and afternoon or evening. And this is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I think it looks nice with this deck too. I don't have all my decks with me. I only have a couple of decks because I've only traveled, I'm only traveling shorter this time. So I didn't take that much, you know, that much stuff. But if this was morning, I would be looking at what receiving or what would be cool to receive. Here I love this juxtaposition of actually having the moon and the sun, you know. So when you have the receiving the moon and you have the Queen of Wands with this full fire kind of sunflower, it's quite a nice a balanced, I would say, cooperation. So in some way with receiving, I would think to myself to receive a little bit more inspiration, to stay open to what my passion is, you know, be passionate about something. Do not be afraid to maybe, I don't know, watch an inspiring YouTube video, play with cards, whatever it is that I feel like it's passionate to me and gives me inspiration for the rest of the day. And then we have connection, which is ilium, the bone ilium, and we have the Fool. So I love how here the little light just comes in like it's the really like the first sunrise, you know, sun rays just hitting this floor of the forest, and here's the Fool. So it seems like maybe go on a little adventure on the midday or eat mushrooms with eggs or whatever, you know. Sometimes I'm being a bit silly, but sometimes they can just have very simple messages when it comes to daily cards. But if I'm doing like a proper reading for myself, you know, when I'm really in need for advice, of course I would be looking at these cards differently. And I would like you to bear this in mind, that when you're doing daily draws, don't go into like a death card, oh my god, it's going to be a horrible day, or sometimes it just really might mean you need a haircut. But when you actually with intention ask the cards, the tarot or oracle decks, to help you, to give you insight, and these readings don't happen every day, right? Then you will know how spot on the cards are. So then we have co-creation and we have judgment, and I don't know, this and this, there is something which maybe I would feel in my legs, you know, but maybe wherever I go for this adventure or whatever I do during the midday, it feels like that will lead me to something like, I always see judgment card as answering the call, as moving towards something that you are meant to be moving into. So maybe the discovery from midday will really open me up to something exciting. And look how beautiful these cards look as well. So I wanted to share one more thing from this deck. So I was actually doing an early meditation with dakinis from Tsulrim Al-Yore, and I pulled this card about informing, and I was actually really inspired because there was a lot of insights that came through, and I was sitting and meditating with my skull, Labradorite skull, and I don't know if she's going to shine, but yeah, look. So she has this wonderful rainbow smile, you know, in her tooth, and then when I sat with her and then I pulled this card, I thought like, oh, that's just so fun. I love those little synchronicities, and it was about informing, and I felt like really in tune with the skull and sat deeper with her and opened up for information coming also from the stone and the stone kingdom, because you can really tune in into the spirit of Labradorite. So it's not only this piece of Labradorite you might be working with, but also with the whole spirit of the stone. I also really think it looks great that this oracle deck fits really well with the Rose Oracle. So you could have like the blockage, let's say, and how to, you know, open up the blockage, how to embody the healing for the blockage, or check what the blockage is about. And you could pull one Rose Oracle or two roses and see, for example, here with Rose Angels, we know that we have to do with some wounding. If we pull the chakra, this is even the new card, but so you could pull one or two roses and see from the more, so this would be the embodied perspective, and this could be more of the energetic and spiritual perspective. I love mixing this as well with different levels. So that would be also a cool idea. And with this new deck that I got from Linda, I also loved pulling, for example, one oracle card and taking, like, for example, let's take a look. So this is resonance. I'm getting older, guys. I'm like, I can't see now. Resonance, it's spinal column. So we know that spine is a very powerful energy that goes through the spine, and it resonates. You can make your spine kind of stop things coming in and open it up to come through. So I would pull, for example, 3 cards and use the questions from the book. So with resonance, we had questions: what's my current resonance teaching me about myself today? What is my current resonance teaching me about myself today? So let's see, what is it teaching me about myself today? And it says, you may never be good enough. Defeat. So there you go. And to be honest, I was recently thinking a lot about my self-esteem, self-worth. You know, these questions just pop up about what's truly important. Maybe me comparing myself to others, wanting more, wanting different, and kind of really realizing, just looking at this beautiful, I don't know if we can see the sea there, looking at this beautiful view. I'm trying to, guys, show you more of the sea, but the camera won't focus. That, you know, I don't need my own house. I can just come here and really enjoy it. So there's a lot of stuff that goes through my head right now, and it's not time to share all of it, but I would pull a couple of cards, you know, to answer, for example, this question, like, what if I'm thinking I'm not good enough, how can I shift this? How can I be more in tune with my resonant spine? How can I make my spine draw things to myself that are really important? So the other one is, don't forget to water your plants. So take care of what I think is important. And also here, the beautiful 3 of Cups, learn to flow. That could be also seen on the physical level, because spine gets really stiff at times. So to be flexible, to give your spine a little bit of movement, like the snake. You know, don't get too fixed on certain ideas, and to really make sure that, yeah, you do you. And I started doing this meditation with the Dakini, as I said, and I think it's, you know, every time when you offer your practice, as imperfect as it can be, to the benefit of other people, to the benefit of all beings in all universes, and you send this merit that you create through your personal practice to benefit others. I think this is such a beautiful, gracious practice, and I hope that, you know, we can just borrow it from Buddhist tradition to actually use it for the benefit of everybody. And just even thinking about it every day for a minute, I feel like it makes me a better person already, you know. So in this way, there is something about shifting how we see the world, and in the world that seeks so much separation, try to find connection and try to find the way to build relationships with others, you know. This is the Three of Cups, abundance. So I think it's gorgeous. Anyway, so this is the beautiful, it's just a couple of ways of how I use the Energy Archaeology Oracle, and let's just see the deck now so that you can get a chance. Let me just move it this way so you get a chance to see all the cards. I think the cards were shown already by a couple of people. These are the backs. They're really gorgeous. They gilded in this old gold. The paper is beautiful. The size of these cards is just like a regular tarot deck. So it's 7 times 12 centimeters. So let's just see. And you get the name, the keyword, and the name of the bone, and here there's how the energy flows into the bone and flows out of the bone. It's really important. And so this is very energized, beautiful artwork, I think. It's really interesting. You don't get anything like this. It goes really well with the manual. The manual helps me a lot to understand about the bones, to learn about the bones. So this is another layer. If you're not interested in your body, which I don't think anybody is not, but you can also learn about anatomy and just have a little intro of how your body works and looks like. Work with elements as well. And work with crystal skulls if this is something that you do. You know, work with stones because they like bones of the earth. Reconnect with your own body through them. But most of, I think, maybe difficulty that I find with myself is just listening to the body and allowing your body to tell you what it needs, what it means to it, how it wants you to react or non-react, you know. Not everything is meant to be like action-oriented, right? Sometimes you might need to just sit with the pain for a while or to understand the pain. It was like this perspective. I read about it and I loved it. Like the energy is not in you even. It's not in the body this time. This time it's in the leaves. It's for you to watch for the signs, and it's called perspective. So I think that was really awesome. So let me know in the comments what you think, and if you think like myself that this is a really very unique deck. And I haven't seen anything like this. You know, I've been in tarot world since 2014, like full time. And I always think like I've seen most of the decks. And when I saw Ashley creating this one, I was like, Ashley, I need to review this. This is amazing. I want to, you know, I will share it. Nevertheless, I don't care if I get it for review or not. I think this is something really special. And something really just incredible. So lucky Americans, you guys can get it in America and not pay fees and not pay huge shipping. I know that for the UK people, Boutique used to have this deck, and I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have it and sell it. I'm not sure if anyone in Europe has it. I think somebody told me, I don't know if it was about this deck. I'm not sure. I'm not going to like lie here. So if anybody in Europe needs to get it, I don't know, guys, we need a good supplier now because it just gets so annoying not to be able to get decks. And even now, you know, I'm waiting for Red Seed Tarot from Linda, and it's stuck in customs for like 2 weeks now. and it's just, I don't know when I'm going to get it. So yeah, European Union feels now further away than anything else from people. So these were all the cards. It shuffles really beautifully. The paper is lovely. It's, you know, it's on the stiffer side, but it's this really soft, beautiful one. It's not very slidey, but it's not sticky like, you know, rose petal thingy. So I think this is a amazing deck, and I highly recommend for anybody who likes to work with the body and body stuff, add bodily perspective to your tarot readings as well. You can use it, and I think you're going to love it. So let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I'd love to hear what you thought about this deck, this video, the ways you can use it, and if you have it, maybe you found another ways of using it. I'd love to know. So all the best, people. I speak to you soon. Bye.